Every time a new Starship launches, millions of people cheer as the silver rocket lights up the sky. But what you are not seeing on the broadcast is the massive graveyard back at Starbase. Overnight, Elon Musk made the ruthless decision to secretly trash billions of dollars in perfectly good rockets. So why is SpaceX scrapping its entire existing fleet? What makes the terrifying new V3 Masterplan so important that they are willing to destroy years of work? And how does this massive sacrifice actually save the Mars colonization timeline? In this video, I am going to break down the exact math of planned obsolescence, the genius of the Raptor 3 sacrifice, and the hidden factory secret that forced SpaceX to change everything. I did not just look at the shiny launch videos for this. I have spent the last week analyzing leaked engine specs, scrapped hardware serial numbers, and orbital payload data to show you the real reason version 2 of Starship is officially dead. It all comes down to a brutal calculation of mass to orbit. For the last year, SpaceX has been flying the version 2 Starship, and while it looks impressive, it harbors a massive flaw. The current vehicles simply cannot lift enough weight to make a Mars or Moon base financially viable. A version 2 Starship can only carry roughly 50 tons of payload to orbit. If you are trying to transport millions of pounds of cargo to build a lunar city, using a version 2 rocket means you would need up to 15 refueling flights just to send one ship to deep space. It is an absolute logistical nightmare. But version 3 changes all of that. By stretching the rocket several meters to hold hundreds of tons of additional propellant, the version 3 Starship is designed to lift up to 200 tons to orbit while remaining fully reusable. This massive upgrade reduces those deep space refueling trips from 15 down to just 3 or 4. SpaceX realized that continuing to fly and maintain the smaller version 2 fleet actually cost them more in time and orbital logistics than simply throwing them in the dumpster. By trashing the old ships, they kill inefficiency at the source. But throwing away perfectly good steel is one thing. To actually make V3 work, SpaceX had to completely redesign the most complex machine ever built. And this massive upgrade made the old rockets completely incompatible. The V3 Starship is not just a taller rocket, it is entirely built around a brand new engine that breaks all the rules of aerospace engineering. Enter the Raptor 3. This new engine is an absolute monster, pushing out 280 tons of thrust per engine. When you put 33 of these on the Super Heavy booster, the rocket generates over 9,000 tons of liftoff thrust, making it nearly 3 times more powerful than the Saturn V. But the thrust is not the reason the old ships are being scrapped. The real reason is the plumbing. Previous engines required heavy external heat shields and complex firewalled compartments to stop them from melting each other. The Raptor 3 eliminates all of that by using integral cooling circuits built directly into the engine parts. It is entirely self-contained. Because of this massive design shift, you cannot just bolt a Raptor 3 onto an old version 2 rocket. The plumbing, the thrust pucks, and the structural mounting are entirely different. The moment the Raptor 3 passed its test stand fires, every single version 2 rocket sitting in the shipyard became a museum piece. So, if the version 2 rockets are functionally obsolete, why is SpaceX still launching them right now? The answer reveals the darkest truth about modern aerospace testing. Right now, SpaceX is flying a zombie fleet. These are rockets that are already dead on arrival. If you look at legacy space companies, they spend billions building a single rocket, and they test it on the ground for years to ensure it survives its first flight. SpaceX is doing the exact opposite. Because they already decided to scrap the version 2 architecture, they are using the remaining version 2 ships as giant flying crash test dummies. They are intentionally launching obsolete hardware not to see if the rocket survives, but to test the extreme limits of the launch pad, the Mechazilla catch tower, and the software telemetry. We have seen them literally skip over entire generations of ships, scrapping serial numbers 33, 34, and 35 just to clear out the inventory. It is the ultimate flex of engineering wealth, burning billions of dollars in outdated hardware just to calibrate the software for the real version 3 rocket. This brings us to the final, chilling realization of the V3 Masterplan, and it is the single reason why competitors are terrified of what SpaceX is doing. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking that Starship is SpaceX's primary product. It is not. The factory that builds Starship is the actual product. To build a self-sustaining city on Mars, Elon Musk knows they will eventually need to build thousands of Starships, flying multiple times a day. You cannot do that if your factory is clogged up with old, complex version 2 hardware that takes months to assemble. The ultimate goal of version 3 is simplification. By eliminating the complex heat shields on the engines, simplifying the plumbing, and standardizing the stretched steel rings, V3 is designed for mass production. SpaceX is trashing the old ships to physically clear the factory floor. They are transforming Starbase from a research and development lab into an automotive-style assembly line capable of pumping out 1 Starship a day. The V3 Masterplan is about accepting short-term losses of billions of dollars in scrapped steel to achieve a long-term monopoly on deep space manufacturing. SpaceX has officially rewritten the rules of rocket science, proving that sometimes you have to destroy your own creations to take the next massive leap forward. If you want to stay ahead of all these massive aerospace shifts, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our next deep dive. But honestly, this brilliant V3 Masterplan is completely useless if SpaceX cannot solve the massive bottleneck happening on the ground. While everyone is distracted by the rockets, SpaceX is secretly fighting a terrifying logistical war with their launch pad infrastructure. I break down exactly why Earth's infrastructure might not be able to handle Starship in this video right here. Click the video to see the hidden crisis at Starbase, and I will see you over there.